Limits, episode 124, PlayStation podcast. On this episode, Halo Combat Evolved is my favorite PS1 classic. Yeah. No, PS2?
Huh?
PS2 existed when Halo came. Yeah, it did.
What?
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Taylor, and I'm joined by my co-hosts, Brianna and Sam. You're listening to No Limits, a PlayStation podcast, episode 124. And on this episode, I chug Pepto.
Chug.
No. Maybe. Post-show. We're recording a post-show. Maybe you'll see that on the post-show. Remember, you can find the video version of this podcast over on youtube.com/SaveTheGameMedia every Tuesday. And while you're over there, make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you'd rather listen to audio, we are on all your favorite podcast services, and we would love it if you could leave us a review. It helps us grow, and we would love any feedback. If you want to support us and get early access to all Save the Game Media content, head over to patreon.com/SaveTheGameMedia and choose the tier that's right for you. Just like our current patrons did, Fabulous Brianna, Brianna's mom, Brianna's brother, Nikolai Knight, Cypher Primus, Brendan Myers, Marcus O'Neill, Lillian, David Hotbright, Dave Hart, the Xbox Expansion Pass, Lee Navarro, Sol Cannett, Eller Woods Parker III, Chad, and Rick Davis. Also interact with us in the Discord. Also, check us out on Blue Sky. We got a Blue Sky, Save the Game Media on Blue Sky. Not Save Game Media, which is funny, but Save the Game Media.
Also check out our OnlyFans.
Save the Game Media, and there's a Y between the A and the M.
There's a couple X's in there too.
I suppose there's some words where the X makes an S sound, right?
Sure.
So XXX, Ave, the media.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. Where we post videos of puppets eating cereal.
And Scott.
Scott, yeah. Our friend Scott. Good old Scott. Isn't that right, Scott? Ow. Okay. Anyway, how are we doing?
Better than you, apparently.
What?
Well, if Scott is assaulting you right now, then...
No, not assaulting me. Just gave me a strong pat.
Light spanking.
No spanking.
Scott knows better than that. Taylor would enjoy that too much.
No, I wouldn't. I'm not that. I'm not into spanky.
Whatever you say, Taylor, it's okay.
When do you believe me?
I don't believe you.
I'm not as kinky as you think I am.
Oh, that's funny.
That's what they all say.
It is.
Sorry, what did you ask?
He asked you how you are.
I'm not sure he asked me specifically.
Yes,
He did.
Right, so the gaslighting's begun. Excellent. I'm all right. I'm nervous more so than anything. It's been a quiet start to the month for me, easing back into work, which is nice. But February's looming, and
comes out in February, not that much.
Taylor, don't try to gaslight anymore.
I secretly hope you have to cover Monster Hunter.
So...
there is a breadth of things that I could end up covering, but it's inevitable that I will be covering something.
Avowed.
So, time will tell on that. Not that I'll be able to tell you until whatever game it is out.
I know, it's Suikoden 1 and 2 HD remaster.
That's the one, baby, right there. Let's go.
That's in March. Ignore me.
Yes.
Like a Dragon, Pirate, Yakuza in Hawaii.
So something will end up on my plate, which I'm excited for.
Behind the Broken Mirror.
Tell you don't have to list every game. Like we know there are lots of games coming out in February.
This is not to try and list a game. I just can't remember. Is Split Fiction February or March?
No, that's March.
Okay.
Early March, I think. But yeah.
Okay.
That would be interesting, though, I think.
To cover?
Well, yeah, because...
How would you cover it? You need somebody to play with
That's what I mean. Can you play those games locally? I assume you can, right?
Don't know.
You must be able to.
I don't have an answer.
If
you need some help, let me know.
That would be crazy if you couldn't play those games locally. But anyway, yeah. So I'm sort of, it's the calm before the storm, which I guess I should be trying to enjoy this time more, but I'm not, because that's not how my brain works. So I'm just doing a lot of prep work and getting things ready to go for whenever the bomb drops, which it's going to probably in the next couple of weeks, if that.
Make sure you're getting adequate sleep, drinking water.
That's very sweet of you, Taylor, but I don't know what any of those words mean.
Sam. All right, let's go. Merriam-Webster. Merriam-Webster. I just go to Oxford. You're British.
Sure. Yeah.
Oxford English Dictionary.
Okay. Which word are we doing first, just to be clear?
Not your decision. Water.
Right. Excellent.
Water. The substance, which is the principal constituent of seas, lakes, and rivers, and which falls as rain and other forms of precipitation.
We all know it's a Tyler song, okay, Taylor? We all know.
In general use, water is necessary for life.
Okay, still going. Excellent.
Okay, what else? Oh, sleep.
Yeah.
To take repose by the natural suspension of... What is he doing? God. What do you mean 37 meanings? Meaning. Subscription? It's a diction... Oh my God. It's a dictionary.
This is going well. I'm learning a lot. Thank you, Taylor.
Why would you require subscription? All right, let's try Merriam-Webster. At least Merriam-Webster gives me it.
I don't know how I'm going to sleep tonight, not knowing what
the natural, easily reversible periodic state of many living things that is marked by the absence of wakefulness and by the loss of consciousness of one's surroundings. It's accompanied by a typical body posture, such as lying down with the eyes closed. The occurrence of dreaming and changes of brain activity and physiological functioning is made up of cycles of non-REM and REM activity, and is usually considered essential to the restoration and recovery of vital bodily and mental functions.
I'm learning so much that whilst you're speaking, I'm actually falling asleep. I
stopped listening a long time ago.
Okay. Where were we?
Talking about lambasting Oxford for requiring subscription to access the dictionary.
That's right. I think that was just you, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. That's me. Don't know if there's anything else to say, unless you want me to say what I've been playing as well. But I don't know whether that's a separate question.
Do it.
This is it's like a pendulum. Some weeks it's a separate question, some weeks it's not. So I don't know.
Well, you brought it up, so fine.
You keep me hanging on by a thread, Taylor. I don't know where you're going to go. What have I been playing? Not much. I finished Metaphor Refantasia.
Wow. Do you love it?
No. I like it. I don't love it.
Can I get an out of 10?
It's not a 10. No.
No, I'm saying, like, what's your score out of 10?
On a true scale, not the IGN scale, Sam. Not the 7 is average, but the 5 is average. All right.
I like the My Anime.
I'd give it like an 8.
It's a great. So I would consider 8 great.
No, 9's great. 8 is very good.
No, I consider
7
8,
is good.
I think 5 is average, 6 is decent, 7 is good, 8 is great, 9 is incredible, 10 is perfect.
Well, no. 10 isn't perfect. 10 is masterpiece.
Yeah, 10 is masterpiece.
Because you know what I mean? Yes, perfect masterpiece, interchangeable at this scale.
No, they're not, Taylor. No, they are not.
Words are not interchangeable.
Anyway, yeah, I'd probably say an 8.
So
I think
great.
the story is great. Obviously, the art, direction, and everything, which I think it won for the Game Awards, understandably so. Having played it, I think, and this is a criticism that most people seem to have, it probably is I would say maybe like 20 hours too long.
That's a lot of time.
It is.
Yeah, but for Sam, that's nothing.
I think.
Yeah, I get that done in like
So
one morning.
20 hours.
like Sam does a lot of hours for guides, but in terms of games he plays that are simply taking that long to complete, I don't think it's as many as we think.
I disagree with that.
Like, I don't think Sam can just doesn't usually throw out 20 hours if he's not
You
covering
don't
the
know
entire
me,
IGN.
Taylor. You don't know what I
He
do.
doesn't do anything but play games all day.
Okay, well that's wrong. That's just straight up wrong. I don't like what you're painting me as right now.
Gamer.
What is this grass you speak of? Yeah, I think there is a clear point towards the end of the story that I think it could have very easily wrapped it up, but it then kind of becomes I would say maybe 15 to 20 hour addendum on the end of the third act. That is where the story wraps up properly, but I feel like they could have just cut to the chase. I know why they did what they did, but I don't think that it was necessary. But yeah, still being said, I enjoyed it, which is surprising because I said I've tried Persona games and whatnot before and bounced off them very quickly. So the world and the story and characters were enough to capture me playing through it. Maybe I'll be talking about it soon. Who knows?
What, with Kevin and Kyle? Didn't they? I feel like they already reviewed that.
Nope.
Nope, they didn't.
What am I playing anything else? I am still working my way through Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. Fantastic. I encroached upon something the other day, and I think I said, I can't remember whether I said it specifically about this game or about a different game, but I likened it to Inscription. And it's even more like that now, where if you know how Inscription plays out and what things happen and how things change, Lorelei does that, but like to the nth degree, and just continually does that.
If you guys, I just found this out recently. Like last time we talked about it, or for the Game Awards or something, I can't remember. But the people who made Lorelei are the same people who made Sayonara Wild Hearts. So if anybody listening to this has played that, this is
good things about Sayonara Wild Hearts.
I mean, they are very, to be clear, very
different. But Sayonara Wild Hearts is a really good game.
They are both excellent. Yeah, so working my way through that, having a good time. And then the other thing, which may surprise you, is I went back to Returnal.
Is there an update?
No, there wasn't any update or anything.
I really want to platinum that game.
I picked up the vinyl for it because I found it very cheap, and was listening to the music, and I was like, I don't know, I've kind of got that itch to go back and give it another go. I mean, obviously I finished it and platinumed it and everything, but just to play through it again. And that's what I did. So I've done another several runs in that game. What a good game. What a good game.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah. Highly encouraged. One of the best PS5 games, if I'm honest. Let's be real.
It's a really good game.
Yeah.
I wish that I was better at shooters.
Yeah. You played the bullet hell segments in Nier. You should be fine, right?
Nier is very different, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Also, Nier and the bullet hell segments, you can just suddenly like turn into like, you just like swing swords and stuff. Anyways, I love that game. Don't bring it up or I'll play it again.
Automata or Replicant?
Automata, whatever.
I tried Replicant, and then I got bored with the first 15 minutes, and I stopped.
Oh, yeah. You have to get pretty, like, Nier is, you need to get pretty far in.
But that's all I've been playing this week.
Can I ask you a question, Sam?
No.
Okay.
Do it.
Taylor, how are you this week?
No, come on. Give me the question.
No, it's too late now.
Toph wants to know.
No, you had suggested that you were going to be playing a game, but there hasn't been an update. So I was just curious if you had an update on Nine Souls.
Yeah, I mean, I've admittedly bounced off of it for the time being, I believe. That doesn't mean that my opinion on it has changed at all. I've just
well, the only thing I've heard from you about it was that you were confused. You said, "What's happening?" I said, "Keep playing."
Yeah, but I think on one of the recordings we've done since that fact, I've said that I enjoyed it, and that it is seemingly very good. I guess I am not in the Metroidvania headspace right now. It's still installed. I'm not giving up on it. I will be playing more of it, but I just needed to dip my toe into a couple of other things. So it will. It's not on the back of the backlog. It's right near the front.
The front of the front log.
Can't guarantee exactly when I'll get to it, but it will be in the near future.
How do you like the music so far? Meh?
I mean, I can't say it stood out to me.
Okay.
But
you feel like you figured out what's going on with the game now?
Not really. No.
Okay. Good. That kind of gives me an idea where you are.
Yeah, I beat a couple of bosses, but yeah, still very.
I will say the only thing I really want to say about the game right now, besides of course that I love it and it's incredible and all of like the mechanics and music and art and all that stuff, love it. The deflect mechanic is so fun. There's like this mechanic where he's like, and he's so cool. That's all. Taylor, how are you and what have you been playing? You have 30 seconds. We're already 17 minutes in. You got this, Taylor.
Need more. Let's see. I played some of Ghost of Tsushima the other night. I wanted to get back to it.
Wait. I asked you how you are first.
Decent.
Okay. Anyways, Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, not a very strong, light on the use of decent, but I'm decent.
Does that mean like you're clothed kind of decent?
What? I am clothed. I'm not talking about that.
You know how somebody's like, "Oh, I'm decent."
I've not heard someone use that word in the context of saying they're clothed or not.
What?
Are you decent?
Yeah.
No.
Damn.
I've heard it.
Shows you how much action I get.
I mean, you don't have to out yourself like that, Taylor. They're like,
yeah. Anyway, Ghost. Yeah, I went back to Ghost. I want to do all the outposts, liberate all the outposts before I do Iki Island. Oh, yeah. So I said, because I have a question too for Sam and about Ghost, but hold on for a second. So yeah, went back there, did some of that. Usually start out as stealth, and then some enemy detects me, and then I just throw a smoke bomb and kill everyone. And good times. Ghost is a good game.
Did you check the toilet?
No. But I always hunt around all the little tents for pieces of metal and linens and supplies. There's a lot of loot in those outposts that you could just leave there after you liberate it, but make sure to get it. And I've been saving up all my resources because I'm like, what if there's an armor set in Iki Island I want to buy that I would purchase now that I would have wanted, like rather than upgrading an armor set I already have, what if there's a new one in Iki Island that I should be saving up for? So that's why I haven't been spending my currency. So that's a question to you, you and Sam, are there new sets of armor or weapons that I can purchase in Iki Island?
Yes.
I knew it. So I'm not going to save all my supplies until I see what Iki Island has to offer. That is to say, my ghost armor is fully upgraded. Almost fully upgraded. The Sakai clan armor set is fully upgraded. Like, it's not like I'm in the katana's been fully upgraded, so is the Tanto. It's not like I'm in an absence of good armor ratings. It's just how many of the additional armor sets I had that I want to start maxing out for the fun of it. I'm like, well, let's hold off to see what Iki has. So
Iki Island is big.
Really?
It's not the biggest, but it's big, yeah.
Cool.
I've never escaped it, so yeah.
I flirted with the idea of platinuming it. So then I looked at its trophy list online, a lot of the hidden trophies, and I was like, some of these I don't feel like grinding for. So I think I'll do all the outposts and then Iki Island and put Ghost down for good.
You should platinum Bloodborne.
I'm only 4 trophies away on Bloodborne, so I only have 2 more endings. The Chalice Dungeons to finish. I think there was one more trophy for the platinum that I'm forgetting.
You should do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'll get the platinum too. And then after that, we can say that we're the Bloodborne platinum.
Nope. Not until you play the DLC and beat it.
I'm never playing the DLC.
Yes, you are, Bree. It is an integral part of Bloodborne. Without the DLC, Bloodborne is about 70%
I don't know what to tell
as
you,
good as it is.
but I can't get past this one guy. So
Ludwig, I know.
Yeah.
We can co-op.
Okay.
Oh, hell yeah. Sam, boot up Bloodborne. We're going to go co-op with Bree.
When did I come into this?
You probably have a character that's like level 200.
My character's like level 200.
No, wait, really? I thought it was like level 80 something.
It's whatever I told you guys.
Okay. Yeah, Sam, bring in like your level 160 character. I'll bring in mine, and then we'll just go to town on Ludwig with Bree.
Right. Okay. If you say so.
That's what's
I'm not
required.
convinced this is happening, but
Oh, then I need PS Plus. I'll do it for Bree.
Thank you, Taylor.
But then you can solo Orphan, of course. Okay.
Yeah, she can. I beat Orphan first try. Like I said, it's not that bad. Orphan is infamous for being the hardest boss in the game. Defiled Amygdala is, in my defense, the hardest boss in Bloodborne.
Interesting.
For me.
I don't know who I have the hardest time with.
But Ludwig, apparently.
Well, to be fair, I haven't really tried that hard.
Toph has
and therein lies the problem.
You know how you just you run at a boss again and again, and then you're really pissed off. But I haven't done that. I haven't done that. I'll run it I'll try. I've tried this boss probably 5 times total. So
that is not a lot of tries.
That's what I'm saying. I haven't tried. Luna.
Here's what I think. Try it every day, once a day, until you beat him.
Get down.
It's not a bad approach to beating a Souls boss.
Fitness being great.
But then you're going to lose, and then you're going to say, "I want more," and then it's 2 hours, and then you're really frustrated, and then you don't want to play the game for a week.
Yeah, it's okay. I beat Millennia and Mesmer the same day, so
I know who those are.
Luna's being so naughty right now. You guys can't see her, but oh my god.
What did she do? What did she do?
Okay, so she has commandeered one of my yarn storage units as her personal stepping stool. But I put my backpack on it to consolidate space. And so now she's just jumping on my work backpack, which is not something to be jumping on. And then she jumped on the end of the bed, which she knows she's not supposed to be over there. The footboard of the bed, she was on top of that.
What's wrong with the footboard?
She's not supposed to be over there.
Why?
She knows. Because there's a bunch of stuff right next to it that she can knock over.
Oh.
Anyways, she's out of control. So, Luna, what do you have to say for yourself?
Taylor's playing Flight Simulator.
That's, yeah.
No, I'm not. I was playing Ghost, and then I saw the movie The Brutalist on Friday. It's I think it's a good movie.
Did you watch? I can't remember, Taylor. Did you watch Nosferatu?
Yeah, last week.
And then did you watch the other one that's like really popular? What is it? Baby Girl?
No.
I think that's the other popular one.
Not seen Baby Girl. I saw the trailer for it. Looks all right.
I have no desire to watch it.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Guys who love MILFs, I guess, should really watch it.
Sam? Sometimes I wish I could say things with a straight face. Sam has shared with us privately how much he loves MILFs.
Jesus.
Totally. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've also been playing Microsoft Flight Simulator. We are out of trucking sim into flight sim again.
What's the next one? Boat sim?
No, I think I'm just flight sim. I think might take me for a while. It's
take me.
It's got its hooks in me. I don't know what to say. I relearned. I took out my joystick again yesterday, relearning how to play and how to actually fly realistically, and all the charts and all the things. And the master plan is to eventually fly an air like a 737 in the game with full air traffic control.
Ooh, those planes don't have a very good track record right now. Are you sure you want to do that?
It's the older one that has a better track record. But that's also the one that crashed in South Korea.
Wow. Sam.
Yeah, so I'm going to be reading like airplane books. There might be weeks in 2025 where more than half of what I played was Flight Simulator.
Okay.
And I was flying around Milwaukee yesterday.
Taylor, can I ask you a question?
What?
I feel like Sam just did something, and I feel like it's something that you would normally comment on.
Put on his glasses?
Yeah.
He looks like a dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, he does. Little glasses boy.
I just feel like I was shocked that you didn't immediately stop what you were doing and like freak out about it.
Sorry.
So. Damn, you really are hooked in Flight Sim.
Oh yeah, it's bad. Not just Flight Sim. It's like I'm looking up all this stuff about planes. I'm going to start reading FAA books about how to fly a plane. It's not going to be good.
Do you think you'd ever want to be a pilot?
No. Well, not a professional, not a commercial pilot like for an airline. But if I made 3 times my salary, I'd consider owning and flying owning my small plane, flying it, like a Cessna.
My friend is a flight instructor.
Yeah. Are they? So a lot of flight instructors become flight instructors to build their hours to apply
That's
for
exactly
airline
what she's
jobs.
Doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. She's a woman in aviation. I love it.
Yes.
Good for her.
Yes.
Yeah, because I think it was 15 years ago. It used to be 500-ish hours required to be a commercial pilot at an airline. Then there was a law change that upped it
much more
to 1,500.
Yeah.
So you can get your commercial pilot's license at 250 hours minimum. And then there's a 1,250 hour gap that you need before you can start applying to airlines that you need to fill. So a lot of students get their commercial rating, and then they start getting paid for bad wages, by the way, to be flight instructors, and that's how they get up their hours. It's kind of brutal. There's a lot of debt involved. Like, unless you have a really rich family member or somehow you got into a really competitive airline program where they fund your flight school, like you're going to be like 125K-ish in debt until you get an airline job.
Yeah, she was explaining a lot of it to me, but she was, from what I remember her saying, like the plane itself didn't cost too much. It was like the fuel that was the problem, because she needs to, like, some of the hours she was missing was her long distance flight hours. And like, if you're not flying when like you're instructing, then you're like, obviously like you have to cover it yourself. And so she was saying that she was going to have to invest money for the long distance flights. So
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, it's very expensive. Like, I assume she doesn't own her plane.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so you have to rent a plane, and then you have to pay for fuel, and then flight insurance. And if you don't already have one, get an iPad with a one app subscription called 4Flight. Like, it's a monopolistic. Like, there's this one GPS app or app that pilots use for like flying navigational charts, and like you need it. And if you don't have an iPad with it on there, you need to drop $500,000 or more on an iPad with cellular data capability with a plan and do that too. So it's not an accessible
Yeah,
career.
she's been working on it for quite some time. So
yeah, for most people, it's not an accessible career. If you grew up really poor, there's no way you were probably exposed to that unless you just take out tons of debt, which is not a attractive prospect for a lot of people. Also, well, coming back around, that's part of the reason a lot of people get into flight sim. It's a very low cost way relative to the real thing of immersing yourself in planes. And yeah. But if it's something if I actually wanted to be a pilot, I think I would pursue it. Because like, why not? Like, yeah, all that, but like you do, like if I'm not pursuing what I want to do, then what am I doing here?
Yeah. True.
But it's rough. It's kind of like the med school thing, right? Where you're just perpetually in the red until 10, 15 years goes by after you start. Yeah. But anyway, making it a bit more positive. I don't know. Flying's cool. Yeah, ask her what plane she flies. I'm curious.
Okay.
There's different ratings you can get. There's Anyway, the point is you need a special rating to fly planes with more than one engine, which is cool. And you need that before you can get your airline pilot license. Anyway, enough about flight sim. I don't know. I'm still been enjoying it. One thing I will say is I've been playing Flight Sim 2020, not 2024, because 2024 has a lot of issues right now with plane compatibility. A lot of great planes. Microsoft said all their add-ons would be compatible with 2024, but there's a big gray area where third-party developers make airplane add-ons. And Microsoft was kind of like just speaking very broadly saying, yeah, they'll be compatible. And there's a lot of developers saying, no, our development kits are decidedly different between 2024 and 2020. This isn't compatible with the new sim yet. So there's been a big lag in the payware planes to get those up to speed. And 2024 has had a lot of issues out of the gate. That's been unfortunate and underwhelming. So I'm not playing 2024 Flight Sim until all that's ironed out. I assume by this time in 2026 it would be, but as of now, we're like 5 months or 4 months, I think, post-launch on 2024. No less than that. We're 2 months post-launch on 2024, and it's still not where it needs to be. So I'm playing the old one. The old one that came out in 2020. Yeah. But I know that's a word for, I don't know if Kevin, you're listening. Sam, Jampack Sam, I should say, talk to Microsoft and get them to fix that. I think that was reflected in its low score relatively compared to 2020, right? I think it was in the 70s, low 70s. Microsoft 2020 was in the mid to high 80s, I think.
What a bummer.
Yeah.
For you guys, not for me.
Yeah, but it's still fine because I'm playing 2020 and it works just fine. My Cessna 152, little old plane. It's such a small plane that the absence or addition of one person as a passenger makes a significant difference in your takeoff weight calculation. It's that light of a plane. We're like, a couple 150 pounds more than that in one direction makes a difference. On a huge plane, no one cares. But small planes, it does, which I think is kind of funny.
I'm not a fan of flying right now. Too many bad things.
It's still safe. A lot safer than it is. A million times safer than driving a car. Like literally a million order of magnitude, a million times safer.
But it feels like car accidents like, I don't know, it happens and like people die in car accidents, but like also you might not die. But with like a plane crash, like it feels like you're most likely gonna die, you know? It feels like a all or nothing kind of thing.
Right, because in a car you're still on the ground.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Anyway, Flight Sim.
Good stuff.
Oh, and I upgraded my RAM. I have 32 gigs of RAM now.
Nice.
I had it since December, and I was just waiting to put it in my PC for some reason. I'm like, do I really need it? And I'm like, well, I'm getting back into Flight Sim. I need it. So I upgraded from 16 to 32.
You need it.
Flight Sim is demanding on the computer. Last thing I'll say about it. Very demanding. And needs all the hardware it can get. But still a lot cheaper. There's Flight Sim Expo. Okay, this is the really last thing I'll say. There's Flight Sim Expo, and I'm like, if I get really into this hobby come like April, maybe I'll go to Providence, Rhode Island for Flight Sim Expo 2025.
We should. That'd be fun. Except for if you get on a plane to do that. But
yes, Bree, I'm not trucking there. I am not driving there. I'm not taking the train there. Although I would love a high speed. We could have a whole poster conversation about how much I am begging for a high speed rail network for the lower 48 of the United States.
I tell you what, being on a bullet train is real fun.
Yeah, I want bullet trains all throughout the U.S.
We're not gonna, but
Polar Express bullet train. Come on.
We're not gonna.
You're right. The auto companies and plane companies will lobby too much against it.
Yep. And also, in general, like, U.S. citizens don't use public transport.
They've been conditioned that way.
I'm not saying they haven't, but I'm saying it's like that's how it is.
Yeah. Also, the government's to blame. All their zoning laws for how parking lots are structured and like the national highway system. The U.S. could have made that a national high-speed rail or reinvigorating the rail system, but they made the highway system instead, which probably was needed anyway, but auto companies just took that to the moon. As someone who mildly likes cars, I'm saying that. They shouldn't be a necessity.
Oh my God, the UK does have bullet trains. I had to Google it.
Really?
It's what the internet says.
Sam, you can look up from your phone or stop falling asleep. We're here.
Look at his alfalfa hair.
Do alfalfas have hair like that?
What?
Oh, wait, you're talking about the plant. I thought you were talking about, I interpreted alfalfa as alpaca. Yes,
I'm not talking about the plant.
I know.
I'm talking about the character.
Oh, I was about to say, alfalfa is actually a bale of plant material that cows eat. That's what it is. Did you know that?
Look at this kid.
The character, that's what the character's named after.
Sam, if you're actually going to pretend to be asleep, or if you're actually asleep, if he's actually asleep, that would be really funny.
Alfalfa, but from the Little Rascals? Where is alfalfa from?
Yes, Little Rascals.
I haven't heard of it. What is the Little Rascals?
What?
Oh, it's
How do I know something that you don't?
This might be that like millennial, late Gen Z age difference.
Oh, yeah, you're probably right.
Like a few years is enough. Sam.
I mean, we can like open a video that's really loud. I'm just kidding. I don't think he's actually.
Is this the awkward thing that I wondered ever would happen where on a recording, one of my co-hosts is not responsive and I have to figure out a way to call the cops? Or I
don't know how to do that.
Call an ambulance for
Yeah,
Britain.
I don't know how to do that.
Sam, Resistance 4 is here. Okay. All right. He wakes up. Wake up, America.
I just want you to know, Sam, that you gave Taylor a heart attack. He was ready to call emergency services.
No, I wasn't heart attack. I was kind of like, I was debating like, yeah, it's probably not real. We'll give it a few minutes.
I for sure.
Yeah, that's right. Sam, if you get in a Walla water bottle, it won't happen anymore. No,
that's so true.
Hashtag not an ad, but would like a sponsorship from a Wallow. Anyway.
I need to
wait, Bree, what about you? What have you been playing?
Nothing.
I finished Dracula. I finished reading Dracula. Bam.
You said that last week.
Bam. No. I didn't say I finished the book. I said I was close to it.
I thought you said you finished it last week.
I finished it a few days ago. Mm-hmm. So the next book I'm going to read is The Hobbit.
That's a good one.
And then Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Amazon has a 4-book bundle for $16. I'm kind of like, ooh.
Oh, you should. There's so many really cool editions. You should get a good edition. You don't
No,
have to
I don't
get
want
the
to
one
spend
that
money.
I did.
I just want
No,
the
you
words.
can get really cool editions that are like not expensive. They just have been printed so many times.
Yeah.
So I would maybe go, because if you go to like a Barnes and Noble or something, you can see what different
Sam
kinds
loves
they
this.
have. I love Lord of the Rings. Sam, don't judge me.
My dad has an original box set and The Hobbit from prints from the mid-60s. They're worth a few $100 on eBay.
Yeah.
So I sold them behind his back.
Yeah, definitely go find a cool edition.
I would read his copies if I was co-located near them, but I don't want him to ship them to me and then read them and ship them back. I'd rather he just have them.
Yeah, for sure. Barnes and Noble or a local bookstore, either one.
I would like to go to a local bookstore and get. There should be a good there has to be a great independent bookstore in my city that would carry all those books. They're so popular.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, after reading Dracula and how grand the visualization was of the castle and a lot of Transylvania in Europe, I'm like, could I get this kind of imagery again? And I'm like, I bet Lord of the Rings probably has a lot of this too.
Lord of the Rings
and
is incredible.
And it's much more dense in a good way. And then I'll rewatch the movies because I've never seen all the movies front to back. Or I mean front to back. I've never seen all the movies start to finish. I've only seen them in segments. I'm also not going to watch The Hobbit. That can go away. But I'll watch the after I read the books, then I'll rewatch the trilogy.
You should watch the animated Hobbit movie.
Ooh.
That one's good.
There is one? Okay.
Yeah, it's really old. I think it's from like the 70s or 80s.
Oh, I love it.
Hold on. Yeah, 1977. Hold on. There's two of them. Yeah, 1977. This one. It's so good. It's like an hour long. Got some good music. Watch that one.
All right.
I've been playing League of Legends. The new season just started.
Oh, I heard there's a lot of controversy about how much more you need to grind to get heroes now or champions.
I have all of them. I don't know. I can't speak.
But you paid for them too, right?
I did not pay real money for them.
Oh, all of them you just earn through the course of normal playing?
Yeah, so you get, when you play, you earn blue essence.
Yeah, so I thought I heard online that in the new update, like what you did in the past for a new player now, it'll take them so much longer because Riot changed the scalings.
Hmm.
And that's like a big, people are upset, understandably so, about it.
Yeah, I don't talk to anybody really about League, so I don't know. I can't speak to that and say that you're right or wrong. Again, I have maxed. I've got all the champions, and I have like probably 20 or 30,000 blue essence. So if another champion is released, then I can buy them without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
So
nice. All right, Sam, we're done. Dad, just stop with the looks.
To be fair, I just want to say I did tell Taylor 30 seconds or less, not 30 minutes.
I don't know, man. We're just some kids. Sam, do you want to read about Nostra Sam? I'm not asking you. Read it.
Do it.
Sure.
Do it. Right now!
Call me Nostradamus, ladies and gentlemen, because
he has nostrils.
That is not the reference, but okay.
I don't get it. What the reference
he has nostrils? Nostradamus? Nostrils?
No, Nostradamus.
Because it sounds like Nostra.
I don't know what that is.
Nostra is Latin for something.
No, it's Nostradamus.
I don't know what that is.
Oh yeah, Nostradamus.
You Americans, Jesus Christ.
This means hour. Nostradamus. Oh yeah, the French.
It's a brilliant detective's investigation into a series of homicides that results into his transportation to the 16th century, where he must fight to save the future. There you go.
Yes. So it's a person that knows a lot of things.
Has 4.5 out of 10 on IMDb and a 47% on Rotten Tomatoes.
All right, Sam, let's go. Hi, Lune. I see your eyes.
So now you understand the reference.
No.
I am Nostradamus instead of Nostradamus. Several Xbox games are seemingly set for a PS5 release this year, according to multiple insiders. Who would have thunk it? Me. and everybody else. Alongside, of course, as we already know, goes without saying, Indiana Jones, Doom the Dark Ages, and The Outer Worlds 2, which is the 3 games that they have confirmed are coming to PlayStation this year. Insider Nate the Hate on his most recent podcast shared that both Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 and Halo the Master Chief Collection will debut on PS5 at some time this year. As the scoop began to pick up steam online, Jez Corden of Windows Central flat out seemingly corroborated the claims and then went a step further and stated that as far as he's heard, Hellblade 2, Age of Mythology Retold, and then potentially with an asterisk, Gears of War 1 Ultimate Edition are also all scheduled for 2025. Goes without saying, but I've just added the addendum that continues Project Latitude from Microsoft, and it backs up some reports recently that came out that suggested Microsoft internally considers something like Hellblade 2 being exclusive as a mistake. Realistically, this is becoming less and less news the more that it happens, but it's a thing relevant to PlayStation, so it's worth mentioning. These
Isn't
games
that the whole idea? Is that Microsoft / Xbox are like slowly conditioning their player base to not understand that these things used to be exclusive?
I understand the logic of, like, we've said it before, but like boiling the frog, right? Of they don't realize they're being cooked alive if you slowly turn up the temperature. If you throw a frog straight into boiling water, it will try to get out. But if you put it in tepid water and then slowly turn up the heat, it won't realize until it's too late. And Microsoft is taking that approach where they're doing it very slowly, very incrementally in drips, so that each time it happens, people who want to sort of console war or fanboy or whatever can say, oh, but it's not these games. And it's just, I can make a reason for this game or a justification for this. Where realistically, if you just logically look at the train of action and the deductions that you can make based on action and what that will lead to, it is the inevitable. All of the journalists and insiders have said it for a long time that Microsoft is eventually, one way or another, just going to become a third-party publisher. They might still have some hardware, but it is not fundamental to their business. It is not fundamental to the ecosystem. It is just an avenue to access their software. They do not care about having one place to access their software.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I said as much in my prediction, which again wasn't even really like I'm thinking ahead prediction. It's just sort of like a logical deduction that you can make at this point that some other game will be coming outside of the ones we know. I will stand firm, though, that I would imagine even if all of these do happen, there will be something else. I said in our predictions that like a South of Midnight or an Avowed, a game that is smaller scale, that is coming out early in the year for Xbox, I think by the end of the year we'll either actually just straight up see it on PS5 or know that it's coming. So, yeah, it is what it is. That we've said it for months now, practically years probably, but it is what it is. And take a grain of salt, both of these people have unstable track records, but they do hit relatively often. I wouldn't be, especially Jez corroborating the claims, at least of Halo and Flight Sim. If he's confident enough to have that as an official report from Windows Central, I feel there has to be some truth to it. Hellblade 2 makes sense. Age of Mythology, I don't know. Gears is like, oh, I don't know. But then if Halo is coming, then why
not
wouldn't
Gears?
Yeah. Well, about me of all people talking about Flight Sim again. With regards to Flight Sim on PS5, I think it makes sense. For people who don't know, the Flight Sim market before Flight Sim 2020 was, or let me frame it this way. Since the release of Flight Sim 2020, I think the Flight Sim community has grown by a factor of 3 to 4.
Oh.
It is skyrocketed, and COVID was also a perfect storm, right? People who used to fly can't fly. What do they go to? Microsoft has this new app that was coming out anyway. They didn't plan COVID around Flight Sim coming out, but but now it's the go-to flight simulator for mass market. Well, I say mass market; it's a very niche game, but I think they're the leader of the market compared to other competitors like X-Plane, if you've heard of that, or there's been other applications. But the point is, Microsoft is the premier developer of it, and it makes sense to have their monopoly on that market to put it on PS5. Sony's not going to make one. Like Asobo Studio that makes Flight Sim, that team is a very specific team. I don't think PlayStation would fund the creation of their own. It's also much more dumbed down on consoles than it is PC. I shouldn't say dumbed down. It's you cannot go as deep into it as consoles as you can on PC. On PC, you can do a virtual air traffic network with real people. On console, you can't do that. There's a lot of planes that are available on PC you cannot do on console, as well as modifications that are integral to the experience for a lot of planes. But the Xbox still has a pretty serviceable experience for the sim, and bringing that to PlayStation when Sony doesn't really have any other option, third party or not, of their own, I think it makes perfect sense for Microsoft.
You aren't playing it, Teddy. You said you're still on 2020, but from my understanding, Flight Sim 2024 is actually primarily run through the cloud.
It's true. So yeah, in 2024, the file size is a lot smaller that you install on your computer in exchange for cloud streaming of data real time of game data onto your system. It already had a certain amount of streaming for I think what they call photogrammetry, where they actually streaming in the terrain as you're flying. But I think in Flight Sim 2024, it's much more expansive than that. Because like the install for Flight Sim 2020 is like 180 gigs with updates. So streaming in that data. Also, it takes performance off your computer and puts it on your internet connection, which I guess depends on your situation if that's a preferable trade-off for you or not. But that's how Microsoft's done it. 2020 is also, and 2024 are also always online, unfortunately. It's like yesterday, the servers were down at 2020 and I couldn't play in the morning just because can't get in the game. But yeah, they cloud stream in those assets in 2024. So the PS5's console capability should be less of an issue of running that game. It's more so internet.
Yeah.
But it's still, better PCs can still run it a lot better, right? There's no question about that, but yeah.
And this is probably going to sound like a stupid question. There isn't VR support for Flight Simulator, is there?
I think there is. Yeah, that's a good question. I think, let me see. I feel like I've seen people do it. On PC, I feel like I have.
Because if there was, then
yeah,
PSVR 2 would be a shoe-in, I would have thought.
Yep. So for, yeah. Yeah, they're all VR compatible, right? That's a good point. PSVR 2 compatibility, working on that with PlayStation. That'd be pretty cool.
That might actually make me try it out, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, trying it on a controller is
rough, I'm sure, but
it's rough. You can get a cheap joystick if you really wanted to try it. But I have a cheap Logitech $40 joystick because I'm not sure if I'm going to stick with it before I drop a few $100 on a real yoke and throttle setup. But yeah, the entry level buried entry shouldn't be that bad.
Yeah. And it also makes sense on a studio level because Asobo will already have PlayStation dev kits because they do Plague Tale, right?
So, well, that's the thing. I think Asobo makes Flight Sim, but it's a different Asobo team.
I don't think so. I think they're the same team.
Let me see. Well, Asobo Studio, Microsoft Flight Sim. No way. I do not believe the same team making Flight Sim is making a Plague Tale.
I'm pretty confident it is.
I feel like it's way too specialized of a title for that to be happening. Like the amount of physics like programming needs to do for a sim game. I feel like if they do, that's amazing, and I'm pleasantly surprised. But yeah, both games are on their website, so they're all under the Asobo Studio umbrella.
Yeah, no, it is them.
Yeah.
Yep. So they have access via Plague Tale already to PS5. So Flight Sim would also make sense. It can run on the Series consoles. So why not?
It can run on Series S, struggling at 30 1080, but it can try.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a niche game anyway. Niche in terms of like its mainstream appeal to most casual gamers at least. So I think that, again, having that as wide as possible probably will just be a good service to the game. Get the player numbers up. Not that it needs player numbers. Is there multiplayer capacity? I really don't know. Can you fly with other people?
Yes, Flight Sim has multiplayer capacity.
Oh.
Yeah, you can do their group flights all the time.
Interesting.
So that's a big community aspect too.
Yeah.
You can see other people's planes as they're coming in. Like, you cannot collide with other players. Like, their plane will go through yours, which gets funny. But
sure.
Yeah, there's multiplayer support. At least on the PC. I think Xbox must have it too.
Even more sense then, yeah.
Make it crossplay?
You would have thought so. If they're doing it, you might as well.
Create a Microsoft account to access it. That's the thing. Will they require you to make a Microsoft account to play the game? Because Flight Sim, on PC, when you get it through Steam or Xbox PC desktop client, either way, it just sends you to log in through Microsoft, like the Master Chief Collection does with Halo.
Probably then.
So I wonder. Yeah.
Interesting times.
Who would have thought the right week to play Flight Sim for me? Here we go.
It's all come full circle.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Other than that, I'd love to see Gears 1 on PS5. I'd play it. Wait, no, I'm lying. I play Gears 1 probably on PC, but if Gears 2 and Gears 3 came to PS5, I'd play them as remasters. Because the only way you can play them right now without an Xbox is cloud streaming on an xCloud.
Imagine the chainsaw with the DualSense haptics.
Oh yeah, yes, Sam. I want to do a first time Gears playthrough with you.
Sign me up.
Oh yeah, Space Marine 2 on steroids. Well, Space Marine 2.
Yeah.
Gears of War was inspired by Warhammer 40K for people who don't know too. Anyway. All right. So Sony definitely has a new unannounced studio in LA. Speaking of LA, just small side tangent. Anyone who's down near the wildfires, I hope you and your fam are okay. And your belongings to the best of the extent that they can be.
Amen.
I know I've seen a YouTuber called Bitwit who does PC videos. His house was completely burnt down.
That sucks.
Yeah. Anyway, new job posting for a senior project producer is apparently definitive proof of something long rumored. And the job posting says, "We are a newly established AAA studio based in Los Angeles, driven by a team of seasoned industry leaders and experienced game developers. Our mission is to create the next groundbreaking AAA original IP while reimagining the development process with a lean and highly efficient approach." And the interesting thing is that, reading this, Sam, I thought it would have been Jason Blundell's team with Deviation Games, or Jason Blundell's team coming out of the Deviation Games dissolution. But there's also a team that's spinning out of Bungie to work on Project Gummy Bears, and the team in San Diego are still operating, working on existing IPs. And at one point in time, we're collaborating with Naughty Dog. I tend to feel like the Bungie spinoff studio might not be this one because Bungie's in Seattle. And if they're going to make a spinoff studio, it might make the most sense to co-locate them with the general vicinity of Puget Sound rather than moving it down to LA. Yeah. Because they're both at this point very high cost living areas. So it's not like Sony's really saving money in one place on the other. Unless they want to open it in, like, I don't know, Oklahoma City and save that money that way. But I'm going to think that Sony's smart enough to know that talent is not in Oklahoma City for the most part. Not that there isn't talented people in Oklahoma City.
Well, what are you saying, Taylor?
But there's a lot more of them in tech-facing things in California and Washington. Anyway, LA studio, Jason Blundell. Yeah. I think it's going to be Jason Blundell's team. I think all signs point to that as most likely.
Yeah. It's exciting. What are they working on? I added in just that last bit because it's like it's not very often that there is multiple studios underneath a publisher or a corporation that just we don't know anything about. You know, they haven't been officially unveiled. They don't have a name. We don't know what they're working on. And it feels kind of strange for Sony to have multiple teams that are just chugging away in the background. Like, are they going to be unveiled as a studio alongside the debut of their game? Like, just interesting.
Yeah, I also just looked it up because I was curious. In Treyarch, where Jason Blundell formerly was, it's based in Santa Monica. So several hour drive, but it's still in California.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess the main takeaway for me from this is that this is how I prefer Sony to do it, because it's how they've found the most success thus far with their teams. Not that all of the teams they currently have they built from the ground up, because of course not, but the sort of fostering talent over a long time that works for Sony. It's paid off almost every single time. And doing that with brand new teams can be risky, but you haven't bought these teams. These are teams that you just created essentially from within. Now, of course, there's still overhead to have these studios running and whatnot, but I think that there is something there where you have most of this talent already and you're just spinning them off into separate teams and therefore inflating your portfolio a little bit more. Yeah, not much more to say. Just I want to know, is it an FPS from Blundell? You would assume it has to be, but well, I guess it doesn't have to be, but because it was an FPS deviation. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was.
So that doesn't mean anything.
Skyrim.
Well, I mean, yeah, it would suggest that Blundell wanted to work on an FPS because he was co-heading that studio.
Yeah.
So it'd probably be safe to assume that whatever studio he is working with now is probably also doing a first-person shooter.
Gotcha.
You know, just like Revive Resistance or something. You know, just an idea. Just do that.
Oh man, Sam, let me tell you, precursor to we need to record this. So I'm gonna reach out to you about recording this soon once again. But you know, Resistance Fall of Man, it has to be better than this, Sam. It has to be. The later in the franchise or Resistance 4, please tell me it gets better than Fall of Man, Sam. Please.
I mean, yes, Resistance Fall of Man is, in terms of gameplay and pacing and everything, the worst of the three, for sure.
Okay. Good. That's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
Not that it's a bad game. I just don't want
No. I'm not hurt, Taylor. Don't worry.
I just don't want Fall of Man again.
Well, you're not going to get it. So
okay, good. Unless they remake it. Well,
sign me up.
If it's a new engine.
Yeah. New gameplay.
Throw in a couple new weapons.
Yeah.
Bree will play it.
Visuals.
Co-op. Make it co-op. They should totally add online co-op too.
Yeah. I mean, Resistance had excellent multiplayer back in the day. So
anyway, Bree, you love gummy bears?
Yummy.
You're muted.
Yummy.
Sorry, Luna was making crazy noises earlier. I don't love gummy bears, but I will read this.
Okay.
So, speaking of Project Gummy Bears, new details have leaked. So, in development at a new studio spun out of Bungie with at least 40 ex-Bungie devs, the game is reportedly set to be a Smash Bros. /MOBA mashup. It will feature a percentage-based damage system and the potential to fault/knock players off the map. Though the core of the game will be team-based MOBA. Though different from anything Bungie has done before, clearly targeting a younger audience, all internal sentiment seems to indicate Gummy Bears is very fun. It is most promising of all the games that were being incubated at Bungie prior to the shakeup. This comes from Forbes.
I couldn't care less.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I don't like Smash Brothers and I don't like MOBAs. So, peace.
I am interested as the Smash Bros. Stan resident for this podcast. But a MOBA has kind of got me a little. But Bree likes MOBAs. But I like Smash Brothers.
I do like MOBAs. I actually don't like MOBAs. I just like League. So
League is a MOBA. You like MOBAs.
I like Bobas.
I love Boba. Don't get me started. Oh my god.
Boba's okay.
Don't you dare. Bobas are delicious.
Taylor doesn't like balls in his mouth. It's okay.
I'm not a big fan of the tapioca. What? That's not what I was talking about, Sam. I was talking about the drink. All right.
Okay. The drink of which puts balls in your mouth. Yeah, that is what happens.
They're pearls, Bree. They're minerals, Marie.
For a man who doesn't know much or like Bobas, you seem to know an awful lot about Bobas.
Bree, please tell me.
That's what I'm saying.
Please tell me understand their minerals, Marie reference.
Sam, can you answer this question for me?
It's Breaking Bad. Bree.
Hank Schrader's wife says they're rocks. Hank says, no, they're minerals, Marie.
And then?
That's it.
Oh,
then the ship sinks. Oh, wait, no, that's Titanic.
Marie likes shoplifting. That's all you need to know.
Okay.
I'm going to start ringing a bell very furiously in a minute.
Taylor, stop talking. Ring, ring, ring.
Ah!
That's a good one.
Yeah. I don't even... just again, I don't care. But can either of you actually conceptualize what a MOBA Smash Brothers game would look like?
With knockoff, yes.
What do you mean knockoff?
Like they were talking about like being knocked off the arena and stuff like that.
That's what Smash is.
Exactly. So like they're talking about, because MOBA is usually going to be a 5v5. So it's some sort of 5v5 where when you're in the midst of the MOBA fight, which imagine like a League of Legends, like you're kind of using instead of having like different abilities that you activate, it sounds like you're using more of like a fighting style, like Smash Brothers style combat where you have to do combos with your buttons and stuff like that.
That's what I was thinking.
What it sounds like to me.
Where there's
so like lane based.
What based, Sam?
Like lane based.
That's just what MOBAs are, but yes.
Sure.
I was thinking there might be an overworld map, and you go to, when you engage in combat with a component, your screen will switch to like a one stock Smash Brothers or 2D platform fight. And then whichever opponent wins in the match advances or something, and then you advance. So like there would be maybe an overworld component and then the fighting component. When you go to fight, it transitions from an overworld you're traversing to fighting the opponent that's in front of you. Maybe. It's an odd concept. Zelda 2 actually tried doing this in an RPG form where you would traverse the world and then it would turn into a side scroller when you encountered different things in the world. And then it would go back to isometric top view. I don't know. It's a pretty lofty concept of a game, MOBA Smash Brothers game. They should just do PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale too, to be honest.
That is what a lot of people were saying, yeah.
Oh, give me it. I'm so here for it, dude. I love Battle Royale.
Abby with a golf club, just... Yeah.
The funny thing is in Smash Bros, Peach has a golf club. Or is it Daisy? One of the two. And they can just...
Toad she's splashing in? Or?
It's funny, because you can just club someone to hell. It's funny.
I don't find any of this funny.
It's funny. Smash Bros Golf Club. Let me double check. Oh, wait, maybe... I thought Peach had a golf club. Maybe I'm wrong. No, it's a tennis racket.
Is that perchance in like Mario Tennis?
That's a good. There's also Mario Golf, so.
Well, I would imagine in Mario Golf, she probably has a golf club.
Oh man, so both. It wasn't a golf club; it was a tennis racket for both Daisy and Peach.
I mean, but she wouldn't. Why would she have a tennis racket in Mario Golf?
No. If you don't angle it, it does become. So depending on how you angle it, it's a golf club, a frying pan, or a tennis racket.
I see.
Yeah, I swear I wasn't lying.
Taylor, you're always lying.
Yep. There is a golf club. Yep.
Well, anyway, that's technically a new PlayStation game. Technically, that people can look forward to. Be interesting to see whether that one is multi-platform or not. Whether it's PS5 and PC, or whether they do the same thing that they are, as far as we know, still doing with Marathon, which is also on Xbox. Considering things have changed with how Bungie operates, it's not as much of a separate entity anymore. And the team is technically being spun out directly underneath PlayStation Studios, right? So it's not even a Bungie team. It's an ex-Bungie team. So maybe they are going to play a bit stingy with it and keep it as a console exclusive. If it pays off, that could be big because the MOBA crowd is there, and if it's a good MOBA, I guess, then that could lure in some people. This is technically old news, but we didn't talk about it last week, so we got some new PlayStation Productions announcements.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about it last week. Might be.
No, at Sony's CES Sony's 2025 CES presentation. So the information that we got, Last of Us Season 2 got a small little new teaser trailer, and is coming out in April of this year. So only a few months to wait.
I didn't know that.
Yep, very exciting. There really isn't that much in the trailer, but it's a good trailer, but just there's not much meat on the bone. You get a little shot of Dina and Ellie dancing at the dance, though, which is nice. The Netflix show, which was supposedly called Horizon 2074, was obviously cancelled several months ago after some controversy with the showrunner. But no, Horizon is not dead, because Horizon Zero Dawn now returns as a feature film co-developed by Columbia Pictures and PlayStation Productions. Minor update on Until Dawn. We already knew it was coming in April. Still no trailer, which is a little bit weird, but whatever. And they revealed at CES that Peter Stormare is reprising his role as Dr. Hill from the game, which is exciting. I don't know really how that's going to work in the film, because Dr. Hill is like in the meta fourth wall breaking game like side. If you played Until Dawn, you know what I mean. So that makes me wonder how the movie's going to work. Taylor, oh boy, I tagged you when this broke. Helldivers is receiving a feature film adaptation. Oh baby. And then the final bit of news before we open the floor is Ghost of Tsushima Legends, specifically the multiplayer mode for Ghost of Tsushima, is receiving an anime adaptation, which is debuting exclusively on Crunchyroll in 2027.
So, question about that.
Yes.
Does Legends have its own narrative?
Yeah.
I played it once and it didn't seem like it did. It was just, kill some of these enemies and go back to your homeworld.
Yeah, no, it definitely had I mean, obviously, compared to like the main game or Iki Island, it's a bit more bare bones, but across the game and the various raids that they introduced for Legends, there was a outline of a story, like a justification for why you're there and what's going on. And
maybe this show can fill in the lines. It's a great opportunity for original storytelling and make it canon in the Ghost universe.
I mean, there's no way that's happening. So, sorry, Taylor, you've played Ghost of Tsushima, right?
Yeah. I've
So,
beaten the base game.
Okay. So do you remember there being actual demons at any point in the main game with some kind of demonic overlord summoning people to different dimensions?
No. Wait.
Yeah.
No? Is there? Maybe one of the mythic tales.
No.
But I don't think there is.
No, there was a you're probably thinking of one specific mythic tale that had like a what's the words?
It was for the Dance of Wrath move. I think it was that.
Yeah. Where there were the myth was that it was a why can't I even think of the word? What's like a Japanese demon? What's
Oni?
No.
Yokai?
Yes, that's the one. Yokai. I think there was a myth that there was like a yokai in the region, but it was actually just a dude that knew the move.
For the record, the Heavenly Strike Mythic Tale was one of the best side quests in a game I've played ever.
Absolutely. 100% agree.
Anyway.
That finale, goddamn. So yeah, it certainly won't be canon, but I think that, again, just as if because Ghost of Tsushima is still getting a movie, right? So the main story of the main game is still receiving an adaptation, but to do an anime of this more ethereal, very colorful, almost like hallucinatory side spin-off thing is pretty smart, I think. As you get really weird with it. But it would be the same as doing like a Neo anime. Like that just I'm not saying that would be viable, but it makes sense. So this makes sense to me as well.
I do think it makes sense.
Yeah. Helldivers though. Goddamn. I mean, that's clearly the highlight for me anyway.
Go ahead, Bree.
I was going to say the highlight is always going to be more Last of Us for me.
Wait, Bree, you finished Last of Us 2, right?
No.
Please finish the game before you watch the show.
I don't think they're going to cover the part that I haven't done since they're splitting it into 2 parts.
Oh. That's probably true. I forgot they're splitting it into a season 2 and a season 3 for the second game. Is that it? I wonder if they filmed season 2 anywhere in Seattle. I imagine they would have.
What if they
I'm pretty sure they did.
But I've
something at least.
Never mind. Anyway. Cool. Helldivers. Yeah. I want Starship Troopers. Just give me Starship to be. I really hope they like intentionally at least have an Easter egg to Starship Troopers in the film.
I mean, I imagine you have to. The interesting thing though is that as much as I'm super excited for it, I am interested to see how they do that without just doing Starship Troopers again. Because I know there's unique elements of Helldivers that is different to Starship Troopers, but they're like, meta, super capitalism, fascism angle, all of that stuff. I have seen a couple of people being like, well, what if they actually kind of took it seriously? Like, I know that that's not in the vein of what Helldivers is about. Like, Helldivers is the stupid fun. But what if they did a Helldivers that was a bit more gritty? That could still have humor, like inadvertent humor in it, but that took itself a bit more self-seriously. I think that would step away from the identity of Helldivers slightly, but could be potentially more viable without people just labeling it as a copy. So I'd watch either, to be honest. So even if it is a carbon copy of Starship Troopers, because Bree's watched Starship Troopers and she loves it.
I definitely know what that is.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
It's based on the book, but it's a movie parody of fascism materializing as unconditional nationalism. Well, yeah, which is the conceit of Helldivers.
Yeah, and I will add, being the only person that has actually played any Horizon at all,
whoops.
It always made more sense in my head to be a movie than a show, and also that show, the rumor and all indications based on comments on the script was that it was going to be like an original story that was focusing more on the pre-apocalypse stuff, which is a super interesting part of the Horizon lore, like one of the most interesting. But I think that that's not really what is going to sell people out of the gates on Horizon. I think you need to do the Zero Dawn story, which still incorporates those elements, but focus on the robot dinosaurs. And with a movie, you're going to have a better budget to do that, because you don't have to stretch it out over 8 or 9 hours for a show. So yeah, smart decision. They should just do the same with God of War. Just do that now, please. God of War does not need to be a show. Make God of War.
I want a God of War show.
Make a God of War movie, please.
I want a God of War show.
Who do you think would play Kratos?
Me.
I mean, yeah, Bree.
Christopher Judge, I feel like was a little too old to do. Well, no. Well,
I would still be on the Christopher Judge train.
Live action Christopher Judge. Let me clarify.
Yeah.
He's also Jack in real life, I think.
He is.
But he has kind of been on record, I think, saying that he's probably too old to do it. I'd still take him doing it, to be honest. But even if he wasn't, I have a feeling that Hollywood would want to go with someone else. Not that there's anything against Chris Judge, but they just want like a bigger name to be the lead of the movie,
He's a big name to me.
It's probably, you know what? It's probably going to be like Jason Momoa or something,
Mimosa? I'm just kidding.
That's right, yeah. Mimosa.
Jason Mimosa. Jason Mimosa.
Vin Diesel.
Derulo?
Vin Diesel's Kratos? No way.
That was a joke, by the way.
No way. Horrific. They could bring an outsider bodybuilder in, and
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
No, let me say this: is it
He's
easier?
He's gonna be Maui.
Is it easier to take a trained? No, yeah, definitely.
I'm
not gonna ask. I was gonna ask a stupid question. Is it easier to take a trained bodybuilder to make them act as Kratos, or take a trained actor and turn them into Kratos? And obviously, the latter, as we've seen countless times in superhero films. But anyway, that's the thing. I don't think people realize how jacked Kratos is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think people do, considering he picks up literally a tree.
Yeah, but that's not because he's jacked. That's because he's a god.
Yeah. So there are Marvel characters that are stronger than Kratos, but don't have as muscular of a physique as Kratos does.
I don't know.
I think a Kratos actor would need to have more muscle than Chris Hemsworth had on his frame for Thor.
See, this is an interesting thing. I feel that you could probably pass off some of the musculature of Kratos if the actor that you got to play him was just wide. I don't mean like big. I just mean
Kylo Ren wide.
Yeah, like a wider build.
Yeah,
I think
with visible abs.
Yeah, especially if you're going Norse Kratos, which I assume they are. I'd love for them to start at Greek Kratos, but I feel like that's a bit of a hard sell for. But hey, I would take an R-rated Greek saga God of War film. Absolutely, 1000%.
Give it to Tarantino. Yeah.
No, don't do that.
I'm kidding. Don't give it to Tarantino.
Give
it to what's his name? The actor. Give it to the John Wick director.
Yeah. I mean, Chad Stahelski is the one doing Ghost of Tsushima. So.
All right. He already has his hands full.
I mean, if that works, then maybe, because God of War hasn't had any movement on it. So, although technically, I guess Ghost hasn't, as far as we know, either. but Ghost presumably would be first on the docket. But maybe if that works, maybe they want to keep collaborating with him.
Gotcha. Self-reminder to watch Shogun.
One of the best shows of all time.
No
I've heard
way.
it's pretty bad.
No, you haven't, Bree. You're just saying this to wind me up.
I am.
I need to rewatch Chernobyl and get depressed.
It's very sad, I think. I mean, it's giving me more of what I like. But
Sam, you only like sad shows. What do you want?
It is a shame.
You like theater.
It is a shame that they haven't stuck to their guns and just kept it as a one-season thing. It was obvious based on just how successful and popular the show is that they were going to do more, but it's just a shame because they are now creating their own material, whereas the first series encompassed the entirety of the book of Shogun. So I was like, and obviously without spoiling anything, the place where they end the series is just like. Have you seen The Sopranos, Taylor?
Oh yeah, of course.
Right. So this isn't related to how Shogun ends.
But the ending is up. You know
the ending of Sopranos, how like just it is, right?
People say it's controversial. I loved it.
Yeah, so do I. Like just spot on. You don't have to see everything. You just know, right? Like you can make your own deductions, your own assumptions, predictions, and that's the fun of it. That's exactly how I feel about Shogun as well. Where they ended it.
One season.
Did I see the what?
Sorry, Shogun 2 or 1 season? I forget.
Just one. They're making more because of how successful it was. But like I say, now going into season 2 that they're making, and presumably a third season. I think they already greenlit a third. They're making their own material. Like all of the source material they wrapped up in season 1, which is like.
Was there a book called Shogun?
Yes. So I'm a bit apprehensive, but again, the first season was so excellent that I can't imagine they're going to screw the pooch that hard with a second season, even if they're having to make up their own stuff for it. But yes, the complete tangent. We're talking about TV now, random TV shows. But still, everybody watch Shogun. Please watch Shogun. It's so good. And don't watch it dubbed. Jesus Christ.
Fine.
Subs, not dubs.
So true. Anyway, I think that brings us. We have a couple of questions that I forgot to talk about last week. I want to get to them now. So last week, Kevin asked, do you think PlayStation has a showcase for State of Play relatively soon? We need a roadmap for 2025 with most things basically unknown.
Yeah, we've got one coming at the end of the month. It's a third-party showcase called the Developer Direct.
That's for Xbox.
No, that's a third-party showcase, Taylor. Are you misunderstanding?
But it's third-party. That's on PlayStation.
Yeah, but all the games are coming.
So
we've got a roadmap for PlayStation. It's called the Xbox roadmap.
Killer's having a stroke or something. I'm scared.
Yeah, talking about that medical attention that we needed to seek out earlier. I think the Taylor's turn is up. I said in my predictions that PlayStation will have a showcase this year, and I think it will be in the first half of the year. But even before then, I would imagine we'll have a state of play next month, probably relatively minor. But there traditionally is a state of play in the first couple of months of the year. So what's in that state of play, I haven't got a clue. But I'd love for it to be another, Astrobot Yote thing where they have another first party reveal at the very end of the state of play. You would imagine maybe if there is a state of play next month or something, you might get a release date for Yote and say it's out in like June or something, which I imagine is probably when it's hitting, if I'm being optimistic.
So if you're not,
then it will be like September. We talked about this. Like, which one's first? Is it Death Stranding 2 or is it Yote that's coming first? I'm not sure. I really don't know. But yeah, we'll put it this way. If for some reason we don't have any PlayStation show in the first half of this year, anything, then
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Piscatio.
Yeah. But we're right on the cusp. And I know that we said this.
We're just edging right there.
We're edging right around knowing about probably
bring it around the town.
Most of PlayStation Studios games. Within the next year, we'll know.
All right, that's what Xbox said in 2023. All right, very funny, Sam.
Well, and 2022 and 2021.
Brandon says, since Microsoft is working towards unifying their cloud and pass system, do you think Sony could be focusing more on their system or just giving priority towards PS3 emulation? So I'm a little confused on what the cloud and pass. Does it mean xCloud and Game Pass?
I would assume so.
Okay. Yeah. Do you think Sony would be more focusing on their cloud? I assume he means cloud and play system with PlayStation Plus, or just giving priority towards PS3 emulation? Yeah, well, I think we talked about this a bit last week. I think the most straightforward way is moderate to long term. Get PS3 natively emulated in the short term. Maintain their cloud infrastructure while they're working on that. I say that, but there's been a big emphasis towards cloud, and we won't have consoles in the future. It'll just be cloud streaming boxes and all that jazz. I think that's too far away for that to be the case here. I think Sony would rather invest the money towards native PS3 emulation than spending all this money to maintain servers to host PS3 games on PS3s.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think that's what they're going to do. And as we talked about last week too, right, we got tidbits where studios are working on native PS3 emulation. Also, shout out to Sony. I didn't know they did this. Sam, have you heard of the Video Game Foundation?
Yep.
Frank Cifaldi, game preservation. There was a game preservation convention in August, apparently, and they had reps from Sony's game preservation division there. I think we talked about it on the show, but maybe we didn't. Sony recently, over the past couple of years, created a team for preservation purposes. They have like 0.5 petabyte, I think, of data.
Yes,
of all their games, and that's from their dedicated preservation team that they constructed.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So
yeah, and I will also say to Brandon's point, and this isn't a conflicting thing. I'm not trying to create an argument here, but I think there is a bit of a misconception that PlayStation is very far behind Xbox in terms of the cloud stuff, and like backwards compatibility and subservices and those things. And I that just isn't true anymore. It was for quite a long time, but in the past couple of years, I think Sony have done very good to secretly catch up, and that's involving more support for native PS1 and PS2 titles, streaming. They've got the Portal now, which is obviously remote play, but also now has limited cloud streaming capabilities, which Xbox doesn't have, obviously through third-party devices technically, but a proprietary device they don't have yet. And even for the backwards compatibility stuff, like PlayStation now have trophy support on classic titles, which doesn't go a long way for a lot of people. I know a lot of people don't care about classic games at all, but it is catering to an audience, and I think that is something that I would have thought Xbox got to first, and they haven't. Despite how extensive their backwards compatibility program is. So I think that it's a much closer race. But PS3 emulation, as you said, Brandon, is still a long way away, unfortunately. PS6, as we were talking about the other week. But yeah, I don't think they have to focus on anything. I think it's eventually all of the things you mentioned are going to be essentially the same thing. Or part of the same package parcel that they're tackling for both companies. So they're both doing it. It's just a matter of who's got the best service, I guess, at the end of the day, which is going to be subjective.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well, I think we'll wrap up the show. I have topic for post show. All right.
This better be like the best thing since sliced bread for how much.
Oh, it is.
This topic up.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's going to be singing.
And
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be some. Yeah. Isn't that right, Toph? Yep. So, thank y'all so much for listening. You can find us on YouTube at Save the Game Media, Twitter at Blue Sky. Links are all in the show notes. Where can people find you, Bree?
You can find me at Fabulous Brianna, FabulastBreanna.
All right, and Sam?
Anywhere and everywhere at Sam Heaney, Heaney.
All right. Thank you all so much. You can find me on Discord and PSN, Mr. Carter9, MRCARTERNINE, or on Xbox playing Flight Sim at TPR6868. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Sam loves it.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Bye.